The message that I have for this reading is that you were sent here from another dimension to live a human life and help assist others with remembering that they were sent here to do the same. What message do we have for the collective right now? Wheel of Fortune, Sag energy at the foundation of the reading. What do we have? The sacral, please. Eight of Pentacles, Virgo energy at the sacral. And then what do we have at the solar plexus, please? King of Swords, air energy at the solar plexus. Now, what I've been getting the past few days leading up to this reading regarding you being sent here from another dimension to help other people remember that they were sent here for the same is showing up in this energy. Now, the Wheel of Fortune and the Eight of Pentacles is telling me that there's something that you were gifted, something that you were given before you even came here. Let's go ahead and call this an assignment or some sort of blessing that was going to see you standing in some sort of allocated position while you were in this dimension, this reality, this density. The King of Swords at the solar plexus is telling me that whatever this is has quite possibly seen you having to go through hell just to get here. It's to say that you have a dream, you have a true heart's desire, but in order to actually fulfill it, you're going to face some sort of extreme pushback. And I just heard your life is going to shrink or expand according to your courage in regards to this. So quite a lot of you are on the edge of something here. It's like you're on the precipice of some sort of new breakthrough, some sort of new beginning in regards to this vision, this dream, this true heart's desire. It's like it's right there. It's like you can practically reach out and grab it. But the distance between you and said thing seems like an impossible feat to cross, right? It's like you're so close, but there's something holding you back. And I don't feel that it's you. I feel that you have the know-how. You have what it takes to actually pull this off, but there's something environmental taking place. And if we were to really zoom out and think about what we're going through as a collective right now, this would make perfect sense because I feel that there's a lot of anxiety inside the collective right now. I feel that there's a lot of fear. And if you sort of look at everything that we're going through as working overtime to hold us back from said tasks that we were sent here to do, it would make perfect sense that we're all experiencing this together. There's something here that is really trying to keep a lot of you in these lower chakras, right? Keeping you in this sort of survival mode. There's something here that is trying to zap you of your hope, faith, and courage to actually pull this off. And I also think that a lot of you are starting to experience tremendous resistance or pushback as you're getting closer to this. In fact, in some of the other readings, member readings, I've been picking up this sort of dip in the energy. But as I've stated many times, this is always something that happens right before you have a rise. And this can be very jarring to feel because it's that feeling of what's it all for anyway, right? You almost feel like there's no use to anything, and that's not a good place to be. But sometimes it can become so overwhelming that you just can't counteract it. And I feel a number of you may be feeling that right now, okay? So I'm here to tell you that if you are, know that you're not alone. A lot of people are going through this right now. But it's absolutely something that you'll look back on once you get on the other side of it and realize that it wasn't inside of you. It was something definitely external to you. It's something energetic. It's something that really goes beyond words. It's just a feeling. It's just it's a sort of energetic disturbance in the field. And you know, this can show up in the astrology. Of course, there's times when we feel more supported than others, but I also feel that there's something else out there right now that knows that there's a collective of you that are preparing to step into some sort of allocated position, which sees you fulfilling your mission inside this density, inside this life cycle, which I feel are all pretty much the same thing anyway. What I have found is that when going through these sorts of energetic storms, one of the most useful things that you can apply to your life is better discipline. You know, I heard this quote recently, and the quote was, "Stopping your worst habit would change your life much faster than starting your best habit. Fix the leak before filling the bucket." Okay, so this is obviously self-explanatory, but there's all things that we can do to refine our everyday waking lives to help us get closer to said target. And I feel that this is probably where you're going to find your focus and energy is most effective at this time. See, we go through several evolutions throughout our life cycle. And though we don't always need to be so disciplined and obedient to our own lives, so to speak, there are periods of time when it's very effective, and I feel that this is one of them. I also just heard that there's a clearing out that needs to take place in some of your lives. This could quite simply come down to some of you needing to do some sort of a fast before you start some sort of a new diet, or maybe there's a new workout routine or exercise routine that you're being guided to implement right now. It's just going to do something for your focus and energy levels. Really, the key here is to focus on things that you have full control over. Now, the Wheel of Fortune, Eight of Pentacles, King of Swords here is a perfect representation of the message that I've been getting around the collective, because it's telling us that there's some sort of turning point that's getting ready to take place in your life. But with the Eight of Pentacles, you're going to need to apply some sort of intense focus to pull this off. And the King of Swords is speaking about the decisions you need to make moving forward. And this really supports what we've been saying, because this speaks about you applying some sort of level of discipline and skill here, which puts you in a position to be able to make better decisions in your life. What do we have at the heart position, please? Page of Pentacles right there at the heart. Okay, this is following everything that we're saying here, because the Page of Pentacles is the new beginning. Now, if we were really to strip everything back and lay out the most basic example of what I'm getting here, which should allow all of you to apply it where it fits into your life, this is an energy here of somebody really getting focused, learning some sort of new skills and or refining their skills. They understand that they have a good opportunity here with the Wheel of Fortune to really turn something around or enter into a new cycle in their life. And the Page of Pentacles, well, that's the first step. And it's right there at the heart chakra. So it's like you are being aligned right now by the universe to bring forward some sort of true heart's desire. But in order to do this, you're going to need to apply this Eight of Pentacles and King of Swords. Again, the skill and discipline to actually pull it off. Now we have the Seven of Swords on the bottom of the deck, and this could really be picking up on some of the things I was saying in regards to the disturbances that some of you may be picking up inside your energetic field. This can certainly be things that are literally inside your environment that you're aware of, but in some cases, it could be energetic restrictions that you are succumbing to based on certain behavioral patterns and mindsets that the divine is trying to get you to release right now. And when you look at the Seven of Swords here, it's clear to us that this individual is stealing something from you, but it's metaphorical, right? The swords represent your focus. And that's what the King of Swords energy is here. It's like something inside the field creating disturbances so you're not able to implement the discipline and focus that is needed to pull forward this Page of Pentacles. In other words, there's something here that is trying to hold you back from this. And I'm hearing again here, I mentioned something similar already, but you need to know that you're not alone, okay? I feel that when people understand that they're not alone in going through some sort of storm in their life, when they know that there's other people going through it too, it can help lift the anxiety of your situation. So Spirit really wants to make that very clear to you, okay? This is something that most, if not all of you are going through right now. And I'm also hearing that you're on your own path, right? Even though we're all going through something similar, each one of us is on our own path. So when you're on your own path, it's impossible for you to be behind, okay? So you need to also understand this. You're right where you're supposed to be at this very moment. Even if that's a place you don't want to be in, you're there for a reason. So extract the wisdom that you need to from that space and be on your way. What do we have at the throat, please, Spirit? Be on your way is exactly right. Eight of Wands at the throat. Now, on this depiction of the Eight of Wands, we see this salamander here that isn't fully formed yet, okay? And I feel that this is really emphasizing what we just said here in regards to you going through the process to bring this Page of Pentacles to full realization. I'm also hearing something here about keeping the energy moving. If you're feeling stagnated or if you're feeling stuck, do whatever you can to pick things up or get the energy moving. And I do realize that in some cases that can be easier said than done. Yeah, I'm hearing if the energy is stuck, that means something is up. What do we have at the third eye, please, Spirit? Four of Cups in reverse, Cancer energy at the third eye. Now, this is quite clear. The universe is telling us here that there's going to be some sort of a massive shift in your luck, but it's requiring you to stop wasting any sort of time and energy on unproductive things. We need to take on a more strategic mindset toward the goal that we're trying to bring forward, which is this Page of Pentacles. And though the Page of Pentacles here is representing a seed, it's something that has the potential to sprout into something quite abundant here, okay? But it's going to require your due diligence. So now's the time. I feel you're really supported in releasing anything that is not serving your highest good. And this particular path and manifestation that the universe is literally here to assist you in pulling forward right now. You know, another message that I've had popping up in the readings is that a lot of you have been praying, trying to manifest something, and it's actually shown up. And some of you aren't even fully aware of this. Most of you probably aren't, because it's just in the energy. It shows up as support. It shows up as the universe clearing your path for a long enough period of time to where you can get a jump on something. And that's what I'm getting here. Okay, in my mind's eye, I'm actually seeing this path. And there's this very dense forest region on either side. It's so dense that it's practically engulfed the path. But then the universe has come through and pulled back all the shrubs, all the overgrowth. And I see all of these angels in my mind's eye holding them back, right? With all of their might. And you're standing right on the top of the path, and the divine is saying, go, now's your opportunity. And this analogy really describes the energy right now. It's to say that this path isn't going to be open and clear forever. It's supported. The divine is here for you right now, so take the opportunity. Really seize the moment is what it comes down to. Yeah, and we have Judgment on the bottom of the deck. So this is a wake-up call, okay? There's something going on here. I feel that, again, going back to what we said in regards to the whole reason why you're even here, right? This is connected to your purpose. You know, sometimes people feel so much restriction moving down a certain path that they think it's just not for them. And I got to say that when you are actually trying to align with your purpose, it's going to see you trekking through very treacherous terrain. It's like you were told before you came here, hey, this is what you're going to do. When you step into that life cycle in the third density, in that dimension. But when you get there, it's going to feel completely impossible to try and align with your purpose. But the feeling of this conversation that we're having with you before you go down there, before you go into that density, is going to arise in a sort of knowing. You're going to feel this inner calling. And that's the echo of this conversation we're having with you right now. So just know that if you're going through a battle, if you're going through heavy resistance, trying to align with this specific path, that's your sign to keep going. What do we have at the crown, please, Spirit? Eight of Pentacles again. This is really confirming what we're saying, because the Eight of Pentacles here is speaking about you mastering something. I just heard you were made for this, okay? This is specifically for you. There's something about the way you engage with this space that brings a different kind of quality than other individuals. And the Eight of Pentacles is also an energy of making money. Yeah, whatever this is, you're eventually supposed to be able to get to the point where you can actually support yourself doing this. And I just heard to become a king, you must go through hell. What do we have at the foundation of the reading, please? The Sun, Leo energy at the foundation. Okay, so here we are back to this message that we're getting right at the beginning of the reading about not being able to focus, so there's some sort of clouded perspective here, or there's an energy around you that is trying to make you think that you're going to have a lack of success in regards to whatever this is here, which is causing you to doubt the path that you're being guided to go down. Yeah, I'm hearing that when it comes to this particular path that you are feeling led to go down, you're going to have what feels like two forces that are pulling you. You have that inner knowing of this is the path I need to go down. And then you have something that feels more external to you that is trying to pull you away from whatever that inner calling is. It feels environmental. Okay, I just heard it's mental for some of you, which, to be honest, the environment can actually lead to the mental, right? Can lead to the mental restrictions, especially when it has to do with people that are around you that are putting a negative spin on what it is that you are trying to bring into your everyday waking life here. But without a shadow of a doubt, if this energy here resonates with you and you're not forcing this to fit in your life, this is the path you're meant to go down, okay? What do we have at the sacral, please, Spirit? 10 of Cups, Pisces energy at the sacral. Yeah, you don't have any support here regarding this. 10 of Cups from this particular deck can speak about you feeling like you need to choose between your community, right? Whoever it is that's around you, or whatever the influence is, and your destiny. This is also something else that I think most people deal with when it comes to a decision of this magnitude, because most of the time when we're being called towards our destiny, some people just can't seem to understand, and or you're dealing with people that are actually trying to make it more difficult for you to go down this path, which confirms the meeting that you had with the divine before you even came here to be true. This is the war. This is the battle. This war is not made up of soldiers on a field. This war is made up of principalities. It's made up of a kind of mind war. It's made up of the third density, which is not in support of us fulfilling our divine mission that we were sent here to fulfill from the higher realms. Right on the bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Pentacles. So this Two of Pentacles here is an energy of disorder. It's also speaking about something that is trying to scatter your energy, which I feel goes without saying here, but it's really just an energy of instability that could be showing up in multiple sectors of your life because you are preparing to shift into this timeline where you're actually engaging with your destiny. Again, I'm going back to what I was saying in regards to something having already shown up for you, and now it's just really a matter of you taking that first step. You know, when we're trying to manifest something of this magnitude into our life, we don't even really think about what it would be like once it shows up and what we may be feeling, right? We usually just think, oh, when it shows up, I'm going to dive head first. But there's so much more to it than that. It shows up and all of a sudden it's in direct opposition with the life you've always known. It's like the divine saying, hey, that can't go with you. That person can't come. This has to change. You have to let go of this. That's not going to work. You can't mix that with this. And when people are faced with these very big decisions, it can cause them to freeze up. And that's totally normal. And, you know, for those of you that aren't dealing with environmental factors, it could just be something inside of you that needs to shift, something inside of you that needs to end, a mindset, a behavioral pattern, just something you're doing that isn't in support of what you're preparing to step into. And this comes back to the discipline and focus that we picked up on. It really comes down to digging your heels in and doing what you need to do right now to get the show on the road. Once you're there, whatever that means for you, or once you're engaging with whatever this is, then you can ease up a bit. But there's these times in our lives when we're going through the cycles of change where we just need to be a little bit more focused and disciplined than we are at other times, right? So it's like saying, hey, I need to knuckle down right now. Once I'm in this energy and once things settle down, then I can ease up. That's what I'm getting here. And this is really just a long-winded way of saying you don't need to be running your life like a drill sergeant from now until the end of time. It's just to say that for this moment, we need to dig in. What do we have at the solar plexus, please, Spirit? 7 of Pentacles, Taurus energy, at the solar plexus. And again, this is further confirming everything we're saying here, because this 7 of Pentacles here is an energy of you actually receiving the fruits for your labor. Okay, there's something here that is 100% meant just for you. You're going to earn some sort of success once you begin engaging with this vision that you have here. But you need to be really perseverant right now and invest every ounce of your energy into crossing over into this new timeline, is what I just heard. For a lot of you, what you are coming up against right now is the external forces that are trying to limit the success that you have with this, or trying to make you think that you're wasting your time. There's this voice that I feel is trying to creep into a lot of your minds and consume you with some sort of anxiety, really overthinking the outcome of something here. Yeah, it's like saying, what if this doesn't work out? What if that doesn't work out? Which is obviously a message of living too much in the future. So it's like you just really need to become present in the moment with this. Really follow your guidance, get in the flow, get out of the past, get out of the future. Just think about the moment and show up in the best possible capacity that you can right here and right now. And the future will just naturally work itself out the way it's supposed to. No amount of anxiety will ever change the outcome of something. So just get focused and understand that the anxiety you may be feeling right now is disproportionate to this particular situation. And all it's doing is inducing some sort of paralysis in regards to moving down this path. What do we have of the heart position, please, Spirit? 8 of Cups, Pisces energy at the heart. I'm hearing here that this isn't your first rodeo. You've been in this energy before. It's to say that you've been positioned by the universe at some point in the past to come out of this cycle, but something happened. But this time, you're not going back. I'm also hearing that there was another lesson or there was some other wisdom you needed to extract by going back into the space. But the fact that you've gotten to this point before and gone back is what's cyclical in nature. And that's what makes this so incredibly difficult, because now you have to break the cycle that you began. This is an energy of standing on the edge of one reality and looking through the portal of another. And that one step that you have to take between the portals feels more difficult than anything you've ever had to do in your entire life. And you weren't prepared for it. You didn't even stop to think that this may happen, but that's okay. There is no way to prepare for this. But see, what's interesting here as well, once you take that step that feels like the most difficult thing you've ever had to do, you're going to look back and say, wow, that was the easiest thing I've ever done. It's one of those. We've all dealt with something like that before. You start to realize that your fear was completely displaced. And then we have the Emperor, Aries energy on the other side here. Okay, so I feel that this Emperor is where you end up, and it makes perfect sense because this is you in your allocated position now. Let's say the Emperor, a king, right? All the kings make up the Emperor. You had to go through hell to become the king, to become the Emperor. This right here is your version of it. What do we have at the throat, please, Spirit? Ace of Cups, water energy at the throat. Now, the Ace of Cups here underneath this 8 of Wands is really representing what we've been saying about taking this step, right? The Ace of Cups is an energy of emotional strength. And of course, this absolutely comes into the equation here. And this really gives an energy of being proud of yourself. Like, wow, I'm so strong. I actually pulled this off. I never knew that I was actually capable of this. And what I mean by that is, sure, it's one thing to have a fantasy or a true heart's desire or get in a daydream over something, but when you actually pull it off, it's a whole different ballgame. And that's what I'm getting here for you. This right here is proof that you are the person you always knew you could be. That really says it all. And that's what it feels when you timeline jump. You become whatever it is. You're no longer stuck in some sort of cyclical cycle where all of this is just a vision, all of this is just a dream. And this is something that we go through perpetually. You know, a part of the human condition is always wanting to be better, become better, expand more, get more, whatever it is for you, right? And that's okay. But without projecting too far into the future, this particular thing here, this particular vision is in the can. And right on the bottom of the deck, we have 6 of Wands. So the 6 of Wands is an energy of some sort of personal triumph. So it makes perfect sense in accordance with the message that we're getting here. It's an energy of victory. And it's telling us that this success is within reach, which goes back to what I said in regards to it being one step away. What do we have at the third eye, please, Spirit? 6 of Cups, Scorpio energy, underneath that 4 of Cups in reverse at the third eye. This 6 of Cups here is an energy of you finally moving on. You're not living in the past. And you're not going to allow yourself to be defined by the things that you could have been. Your expectations for whatever this is here are not displaced. They're very possible. The 6 of Cups is also an energy of receiving some sort of blessing from the divine here. But you need to get out of your emotions to pull this off, okay? With that 4 of Cups in reverse right above it there at the third eye. Yeah, I'm hearing here that the only thing that's truly holding you back right now is you programming your current reality into accepting the shift, sort of like pinching yourself. Wow, this is who I am now. This is my life now. That's what I'm picking up here. It's time to move on from the I can't do that, I'll never be able to pull that off, and or the things that may be projecting all of that onto you, environmentally speaking. And then we have the Eight of Wands, Sag energy. Okay, so moving forward again quite rapidly here. Nine of Swords is putting emphasis on your mind. The anxiety I feel that I was picking up here earlier on in the reading. And the Five of Wands, overcoming whatever the obstacles and challenges are that you may be facing, which for a lot of you, it feels emotional, it feels mental, but it can certainly be things in the environment that mess with the mental wiring, that mess with your emotions. What do we have at the Crown to close out the reading, please? The Devil, Capricorn energy at the Crown to close out the reading. This is very interesting because on this Wheel of Fortune, which represents the life cycles, right, the turning point, we have the Devil right there, right on the bottom of the wheel. It's like he's hanging out, trying to make it difficult for you to step into this new timeline, into this new life cycle. And now we have the Devil clearly shuffling off. You know, I quite often mention that the Devil for me in tarot and energetically is a sort of umbrella energy that makes up anything that causes us to hold ourselves back, whether it's environmental, whether it's a mindset, whether it's a behavioral pattern, whether it's a person, whether it's a place, whether it's a thing, whatever it may be, it falls under this umbrella of devil energy. It's just anything that collects in certain areas of our life to stop us from aligning with our true north, with our path, with our mission, with our destiny. But right here, you have clearly pinpointed whatever this may be for you, and it's no longer something that is going to be holding you back. It's like you have put the spotlight on whatever this energy is in your life, and it's began to scatter, it's began to dissipate. This is also one of these readings that tells us that when you look back on this energy of having to literally go through hell, you're going to understand that it couldn't have gone any other way. Had you not have gone through this the way that you did, you wouldn't be the person that you are now. And the person you are now is the person you needed to become to be able to receive what it is in this new timeline, in this new beginning. All experience, all wisdom needed to be gathered to be able to become the proper recipient of what it is you are about to receive. So don't lose your focus and just know that that calling, that thing you have inside of you is a vision, is an echo of the life you're actually meant to be living. So depending on where you are on this timeline, some of you are going to be closer to this than others. The message is all the same. And this is where you're supposed to be. This is what you're supposed to be doing. And this is why you were sent to this dimension. Because this thing right here was assigned to just you, and there's nobody else that can do it the way you do it. So with that, I will leave it here. All right, this is what I have for all of you. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. If you would like to join the membership side of my channel, where I upload additional content each week, you can find the link down below. You can also find information to personal readings, as well as my online store, all down in the description. But in closing, I would like to know how this reading resonated with you, so drop me a heart and or a comment, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Take care.